In this video, we will go step by step through the procedure for repairing a UAV flight controller. The flight controller is the heart of the drone, responsible for stability, navigation, and command responsiveness. We will analyze diagnostic methods, identify common issues, and cover proper repair techniques. Whether you're facing a short circuit, defective components, or damaged connections, this presentation will guide you through the troubleshooting process. Fault diagnosis. We perform a visual inspection before connecting the flight controller to a computer or power source, checking the following elements. We inspect the electronic board for burn marks, oxidation, swollen capacitors, or detached components. We check the soldering on the main connectors, VCC and GND power lines, ESC connections, electronic speed control, radio receiver, RX connectors, and the USB port. Connecting to configuration software. We connect the flight controller to the computer and use the appropriate software. We check the USB cable and try another port. If it still doesn't work, we make sure the USB driver is properly installed. We use another computer for testing. We try to enter bootloader mode by pressing a dedicated button or shorting 2 pins. Power testing is done with a digital multimeter. We check the voltages at the 3.3 volts, 5-volt power points, and battery voltage. If there is no voltage, we check whether the voltage regulator is working properly. Sensor verification is done by accessing the Sensor tab in the software. Gyroscope and accelerometer. If the drone's values don't change with movement, the sensor might be defective. Magnetometer. If no data is detected, we check the I2C or SPI connections. Barometer. We check if the indicated altitude is correct. Fault resolution. Steps for firmware rewriting. We connect the controller to the PC and enter bootloader mode using the appropriate update software. We select the correct firmware for our model. We configure the necessary parameters. We recalibrate all sensors, IMU, compass, and accelerometer. Hardware problems and solutions. Faulty USB port. Symptoms. Not detected by PC, but the board works when powered by batteries. Solution. We try to resolder the USB port. If that doesn't work, we replace the USB port or use a serial adapter. Faulty voltage regulator. Symptoms. The controller doesn't start or the sensors don't work. Solution. We locate the voltage regulator on the board. We measure the output voltage. If it doesn't provide the correct voltage, we replace the regulator with one of the same type. Gyroscope. Faulty accelerometer. Symptoms. The drone doesn't respond correctly to movement or sensors aren't detected in the software. Solution. We check if the gyroscope chip receives voltage. If the problem persists, we replace the gyroscope using a hot air soldering station. Compass. Magnetometer not working. Symptoms. Incorrect or missing data in the software. Solution. We check I2C SPI connections and soldering. We try rewriting the firmware. If it doesn't work, we replace the magnetometer sensor. ESC's not responding. Symptoms. The motors do not start. The ESCs are not detected. Solution. We check the connections between the ESCs and the flight controller. We ensure that the firmware supports the ESC protocol and PWM. If an ESC is defective, we replace it. Post-repair testing. Static testing. We check the sensors. We ensure the data from the gyroscope and accelerometer is stable. We test the response of the ESCs and motors without propellers. We check the communication with the remote control and GPS system. Initial flight tests. We ensure all components are properly secured. We perform a low-altitude takeoff test. We test stability in acro or stabilization mode. We check if the drone responds correctly to commands. In conclusion, this procedure covers most issues that can arise with UAV flight controllers. If the fault persists, complete controller replacement may be considered.